All right, we're back. Some more sanding. Sanding to go. Look at it. Look at the biceps growing, guy.
What we do here is go back.
Alright guys, as you can see, one car is gone. We're back. It's another day. My arms have rusted up a little bit. And this is nice and hard now. I have full faith that we can sand this. It's not going to go anywhere. So that's what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off by prepping this up. We're going to sand it up, get it nice and smooth. And then we're going to throw some primer on this. And while that's drying, we're going to start just sanding the whole bottom half of the car. So pretty basic stuff. I'm going to just use a little bit of 80 grit. Then I'm going to come back with the 320 grit sandpaper here and get it smooth. Primer. You know, nothing crazy. Actually, let me show you the primer I'll be using. We're just going to be using a little spray can since we're just going to be touching up that little spot. I don't really want to spray a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. So, not that long ago, I went out and got this Krylon clear. Sorry for that loud bang. So, just so it's a little spot, we're just going to use this Krylon Automotive 2-in-1 primer, filler and sandable. So, see, it even says right there, ideal for metal, fiberglass, wood, interior and exterior, blah, blah, blah. So, we're going to go ahead and spray some of this. Hopefully it should help everything kind of seal up and stick right up on there. Again, if it was a bigger area or something, I would just lay like an epoxy sealer or a primer. But because we're going to use this, we're also going to let it dry overnight. So I'm going to get this all prepped up. We're going to get it sanded. We're going to put a primer on it. We're going to sand the rest of the car up. We're going to come back. We're going to lay our graphics in. We're going to cut, you know, our Boss Life Queen graphics that are going to go there. We're going to place that all in, leave it all ready so that tomorrow morning I could come in and do the artwork. And yeah, actually, before I forget, we might spray the dark blue at the bottom half of the car. I have that over here. So it's this blue pearl here. I don't know if we're gonna have enough, to be honest with you, but it's supposed to be this blue pearl. And we're gonna lay that all over the bottom half of the car here. I don't know if we have enough, so we might have to wait till Monday to spray that, because it's yeah, the paint stores are gonna close and I'd have to lay it. Yeah, great. I thought I had more of that. So anyway, we could still get it all prepped up. We could leave it all ready. We could spray the artwork, and then we could leave the dark blue for the very end. It's all the same, really. But we got to start by sanding it. So let's get to work. Work.
It's not a game, it's a rich
All right, guys. So you can see I've got it all pretty much touched up, smoothed out. Looks really good. Can't really tell anything was wrong. So now when while we're sanding, we're going to leave this till the very end so that this has the time to dry. But we're going to start sanding the rest of the vehicle here. All the bottom half. And we have to make sure to go like underneath, you know, like touch up like this. Because that's the whole issue right now, is that you can see under the car. And there's certain areas back here, like this kind of stuff, where it's not really painted, but you can see that right there, right? So it's like white, and then the white just gives off at the edge, but there's more space back there. So now when they put at shows and they have, you know, mirrors or something there, you kind of see that. It looks really not nice. So we're gonna go ahead and prep all of that, and we'll mask off this little grill here and get it all ready. So time for some sanding. Hope you guys watch sanding. A lot of my work revolves around sanding. So anyway, let's get it all done and keep on working. So alright guys, as you can see, I went over it with the 320, the whole thing, and now what I've done is poured myself a fresh bucket of water, this ever-loving bucket, and we're going to put some Dawn dish soap, and then we're going to go over the whole thing with 400 grit. So the reasoning behind I'm going to do the 320 is because I wanted to get some of these rougher areas, or some of these areas where the paint is chipping off, and make sure to sand that really, really good, right? And the reason I'm going to use 400 with the water and the soap is to get any wax, any grease, or anything off of those areas, especially underneath, right? You want to use a little bit of soap to get anything that's on the actual body, instead of just rubbing it around with the sandpaper. We actually want it to drip off with the water. We want it to wash off. And if we use the 400 grit with the water and get that all nice and smooth, it'll give us a really nice and clean surface for our next paint to really stick. I tried to sand as best as I could under there. So we're going to try to give that all a good coat of that blue. Our primer back here is pretty dry. I went over it trying to get our edge here. I'm probably going to end up unmasking this area, sanding that a little bit, and then relaying the tape. That way I could get the primer down to the white all the way around the edge here. But other than that, I mean, our area is nice and smooth here. There's no more cracks or nothing like that. So it looks really good. Ready for some white there. I made sure to hit all the, these edges, right, like this, really, really good, because it seems like that's where the paint's failing, really, is around the edges. See here, I had to bend this back. It looks like it was bent, and then they just painted it while it was bent, but the paint was chipping off there. And then once I got the paint off, you see this edge here, it was like it was never even sanded. There was just paint over unsanded blue. So we're gonna get this a little sanded out a little better. So I made sure to hit all these edges. They also, right, see this little plastic piece here. I would have recommended just taking it off, right when they painted the car the first time. Just taking this white piece off. They chose to paint around it. They didn't do a very good job sanding all these spots, so there's a lot of paint failing around the edges of these. So I made sure to sand that as best as I could. Now we're going to go through with the 400 grit, the soapy water, get it all clean, all sanded and smooth. And then I can work on getting the designs cut. It's already getting pretty late in the day today. Then I'm probably gonna lay some tape lines. So around that bottom edge, I'm probably gonna lay a tape line. Then I'm gonna lay a little pinstripe line next to it. Same thing across the top. I'm probably just gonna lay a little pinstripe line just to break up the lines and to kind of hide the main line here a little bit. We're gonna, have another separate, pinstripe here, so it'll give it a nice little pinstripe effect. Get this masked off, and I'll get the design cut out, right? So we gotta go back over there. Get the design cut out for this, and then we could go about pasting it on. Whew. Then we could come back and airbrush it. Ooh, I'm freaking sweating, I'm wet, and I'm sore. So it's all wrapped into one. So we're making good progress though. I reckon we could get that in there. We could get all those spots touched up. And who knows, I might just go and swing and get more of that blue here today so that I could go ahead and spray that, and then we could work on the other side of it. So anyway guys, I'm gonna let this dry, get the design cut out, and I'll be back. Alright guys, we're back another day. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided to do is some of these spots, right, I want to hit these with some white. So I got some standard white. Hopefully it blends in okay. It won't really matter much because we're going to be putting artwork over this area, and we're going to be spraying lots of blue over it. So it'll be okay. But I'm going to take some of this whites. I'm going to use my little spot gun here, and I have this Segola X-Tech 475. Big shout outs to Segola, sending these out a while ago. I've been using this thing, and it's like amazing. I haven't had to replace it. I just keep it clean, keep using it. It works amazing. But we're going to use this spot gun. We're going to spot up all these areas. We're going to give that a little hour or two to dry, and then we're going to come back in, lay our tape lines that we want around, and then we're gonna tape up from my mouth there started watering. Tape up from the bottom, from this line up, and then we'll spray the dark blue color, which I got some of right here. We'll spray that all around on the bottom side and get that all done up so that it looks all good. Then it will be ready so that we can lay the filigree in that center part. I got some plastic over there, and I got the program all open, so I'm going to set that to cut, and then we'll come back and get it all done. So first things first, let's start off by spraying some white over this stuff and getting that all covered up. So alright guys, so as you can see, I got it sprayed up with white. That white actually blends in pretty good with the other one. So now I'm going to go ahead and, it's been drying for a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and take my tape, and we're going to lay some tape lines, and then we're going to mask off that center part so we can paint all the blue underneath, and then we'll give that a little bit of time to dry, and then we'll come back and do all the artwork in that other blue here. So yeah, next thing is just lay my tape lines and get it masked up so we can spray the bottom. Pretty easy. So All right, we got it all masked off, right, all the way around. It's all masked off. So what I'm gonna do is actually there's a couple lights I need to mask off. Like they have some under lights that I have to mask off here. But other than that, it's ready, and we could spray the blue, and you're gonna see me spraying and kind of crawling around the ground here in order to spray this. And one thing I wanted to mention is that I use these disposable cups, right, and use them inside this cup here. And they're disposable, and the cool thing about these, and the way I'm gonna spray, you know, kind of upside down and stuff, is that these allow you to spray at any angle, right? So when you have it on the gun, like over here, oh jeez, but you could spray, you know, like this, you could spray like that, upside down at any angle, because it sucks the paint right out of this cup. If there's little air pockets in there, it'll suck the air out first, but then it'll just start spraying all the paint you know, equally. So anyway, I'm going to turn on some lights. I'm going to turn on the light on that side over there and, you know, kind of work with a little spotlight or whatever, and try to get all the underneath of this car, that dark blue color. That way it doesn't stick out so much when you know, when it's at a show and people are really, you know, what do you call, checking out the car, I guess, but being critical of it. So when you go like this, I guess not so much. I know there's a couple spots in the back where you can really see, but I know they like to put like mirrors and stuff like around the wheels, and the whole underside was kind of like, it had like weird white overspray in some spots and stuff, and we're going to try to get that all covered up so that it looks nice and even, nice and good. And yeah, so here we go. I'm just going to start spraying the bottom. I've kind of already wiped it with some wax and grease remover. I'm going to reduce the paint. It says right on there, reduce it 2-to-1. So I'm going to reduce it 2-to-1, get that all sprayed up, and then we could unmask it and come back and do the artwork. I have the stencils already cut out over there that I'm going to use. So yeah, anyway guys, let's get this all going, and we could probably wrap this car up today, no problem. So Alright guys, so we got it all in there. I got the blue all in there. We went in there nice and underneath, made sure it rolls over to the bottom. It's not just, you know, it was like before it was like white, and then all of a sudden the white would just end, and then there was some blue under there, so it looked kind of Yankee. Now it's all nice and blue all the way underneath, all the way down. Even if you look all the way, it's nice and blue. So now we have the nice process of going in here and adding in all our filigree. We're going to do like filigree kind of work all up in here. I've cut a couple stencils, a few stencils here, and we're just gonna work our way around the car, airbrushing the filigree in. Then we'll unmask everything. We'll lay a little shade around the lettering, unmask the lettering, get it all unmasked, except obviously the top. We'll lay some clear coat, let it dry, and we'll come back and unmask it, and it'll be ready to be sent out. Pretty simple enough. I can almost see the end here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, get ready, and start airbrushing it. So simple. Alright guys, we've been working, it's getting pretty late. It's almost 6, after 6 p.m. right now, 6:11. And we've been going pretty much all day since this morning. And yeah, we've got a lot done. Obviously we got all the dark blue in, and I've uncovered this side so you can kind of see what's actually happening. I got all the design in here. You can see this nice little pinstripe, and then we have the other pinstripe up there that's sectioned off. I got the lettering in there nice. The F, drops all the way down. It looks really good. We got it going across the front, all the way around, and I am about halfway done on this side. But I think I'm going to end it right there. I'm going to go inside, get myself some dinner, do all that jazz. We'll come back out here in the morning, finish that up, clear it up, and then we'll get started on the next set of projects that just landed in, and I'll introduce you guys to those in the next episode. So again, as always, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys all for all the support. We'll be back in the next episode, finish her all up, and get it out of here, and we could move on to other stuff. So have a good night. We'll see you later.